just full of the Christmas spirit, and I bring tidings of comfort and joy, and I really do, because it's Christmas Express style. Now, obviously, I don't mean the big day itself, which is always going to be something of a long haul. But the thing is, this time of year is full of so many days ready to be filled with festive treats, and I have it all wrapped up. For inner glow, it's got to be holiday hotcake with lashings of eggnog cream for the grown-ups. Doing double duty as edible gifts and get-ahead goodies, spiced peaches and chocolate pistachio fudge. To get the party started, Moorish salt-sweet spicy popcorn and frothy snowballs, my all-time favourite Christmas cocktail. Then for a fabulous festive spread, gleaming ginger-glazed ham with roasted butternut squash sprinkled with pecan nuts and morsels of blue cheese. This is fast, festive food to make your holiday season a snap. Crazy about this time of year. I really love it. I mean, why wouldn't I? Because the thing about the seasonal express treatment means it's full-on festivities and no fuss. And my holiday hotcake is a case in point. It's incredibly easy and it's so perfect. Warm, comforting, smelling of Christmas. Just right for anyone, even this lot, coming in from the cold. Careful. When I want to wallow in the full-on spirit of Christmas, I make my holiday hotcake. It's somewhere between a pudding and a cake, and sticky toffee at the same time, full of spices that make it so warming, and it's incredibly easy to make. I've got 150 grams of flour, and on top of that, I want 100 grams of light muscovado sugar. It's so dense and treacly, this, I love it. And now some spice. Got a teaspoon of ground ginger and then another teaspoon of ordinary ground mixed spice. That has a bit of everything in it. Cloves, cinnamon, caraway, coriander seed. Now a teaspoon of baking powder, and that's the dry ingredients. About 125 millilitres of milk, full fat milk, and 60 millilitres of ordinary flavourless vegetable oil. I do this because it's easier than mixing in butter. Finally, 1 egg, and mix it together, and that's what I love about this. It's infinitely express and very basic. You just need a wooden spoon and a bowl. And then pour into a lightly buttered pie dish. It looks like there's not enough, but there is. It does spread and rise as it bakes. Now, what I'm about to do may seem completely bonkers, but I promise you it works. And it doesn't only work, it makes this fabulous sticky toffee sauce that sits on top before it goes in the oven. And then when it bakes, it splits and the sauce goes underneath, thick, oozy, gorgeous. Now the spices again, exactly the same as before. A teaspoon of the ground ginger and the deeper, darker mixed spice. Teaspoon again. And some butter. Just cut off 6 teaspoon-sized nuggets and dot them on top of the sugar. And finally, the pièce de résistance, if a bit on the alarming side, but I do pour 500 millilitres of boiling water on top of the cake. I mean, it looks like a catastrophe, doesn't it? It's not that beautiful when it's baked. It doesn't look like that, and it is delish. This goes into the oven for 30 minutes. It's preheated to 220, and once it's out, I'll just let it stand for 10 minutes just so it's not so piping hot and the two layers have time to separate. And while the holiday hotcake cooks, I'm just just going to get some cream from the fridge. Need some whipped cream on top. Obviously, this isn't exactly hard work. So I'm just going to start whipping. It's rather lovely with ice cream as well, but this is my absolute favourite. You wait. Everything about this is easy. And I suppose what I like a lot about the holiday hotcake is you could never have baked before, and you would just do it and it would work. It looks odd, but it works. We're about right now. So for the children, a snowy mound of softly whipped cream. But for me, my own treat, my eggnog cream. This is how simple it is. Bit of advocaat, carry on whisking, and put in a few sploshes. Right, it's done. Just going to pile it into this goblet for me. Just by itself, sheer Christmas.
Does anyone have any skippers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we be ready now? Ah, that is so Christmassy. The smell is gorgeous. Children, come on! This will warm you up. They look like snow there, Bruno.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the skating?
I can't ice skate because I don't glide. I run.
Can I give anyone some more? We've managed to demolish this entire cake. This time of year really is the season of indulgence and sweet treats. So when I say that I am making a chocolate and pistachio fudge, I feel I'm making some sort of festive declaration. So that's 350 grams of really good dark chocolate going in. It's so nice to have something homemade and delicious to give people when they drop in, and there's a lot of dropping in at this time of year. And I love as well to package some of this up and be able to give it to my friends. On top of all that chocolate, I need a can, around 400 grams of condensed milk. Look at it oozing out. And it's the condensed milk, I think, that helps you get that proper fudge texture. A confectioner may not call it fudge, but this is how I do it. Straight into a pan, no double boiler, and no need for sugar thermometers. So on top of the chocolate and the condensed milk, I need 2 tablespoons of butter. And this goes on to melt. And I promised chocolate pistachio fudge, and here are my pistachios. Quite a lot of pistachios, 150 grams. And the reason I'm putting the pistachios into a freezer bag is because I want to bash them and splinter them so I have smaller pieces to disperse throughout the fudge. And this is easier than chopping. That's it, beautiful. I love the greenness of pistachios with some of that rose pink still on the skin around them. Nothing like it. Stir to make sure everything is shinily combined. Now in go the nuts. Get my foil tray. It's easy to get the fudge out of this later and no washing up. I mean, how ridiculously easy was this? And that's the end of it. In it goes in the tray. Spread the fudge mixture all over. So when this has cooled, put on a lid, slip it in the fridge, and it will set. No more work for me, and I've got ahead and feel happy. This room really comes into its own at this time of year because I love to have everything well stocked, so I know I've got everything on standby. This is one of my all-time favourite Christmas quickies, spiced peaches. So I need 4 cans of peaches, just as easy to make as if you were using a small bit. And I need some cloves, got a big stash because I get through a lot at this time of year, and some crumbled red chilli and cinnamon sticks. And now I will just shimmy off to the stove. I can't get through the holidays without ham, wouldn't want to, and I can't have ham without my spiced peaches. This is Ultra Express, no boiling away for 2 hours, just a question of opening 4 cans of peaches. I don't like canned fruit when it's pretending to be fresh fruit, but I want that preserved taste here. What you can't do, however, is use the peaches that have been canned in fruit juice. You need the syrup. And obviously, I'm not just having canned peaches to have with the ham. Just a bit of flavour, a lot of flavour really, but done very easily. Some hot, fresh ginger. It's about an 8cm piece. Just peel it first. You can do this really easily by scraping the skin off with a teaspoon. So just slice the peeled ginger to thin coins. And I don't want to mince it in because I want the syrup to stay clear so I can see all the golden gorgeousness later. And in they go. And some cinnamon. Lovely festive smell, the cinnamon. Just using 4 short sticks and some cloves for that pungent muskiness. About 6 cloves. Black peppercorns, after all, this is savoury. About a teaspoon or so. Teaspoon of crushed dried red chilies. Look how beautiful, like fire. A little bit of salt, just a teaspoon. And finally, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. And this cuts through all the sweetness and the hit of the spice. So on with the heat, and I'm just really letting these warm through and then come to a boil and bubble for about a minute. And now I'm going to start writing the label, because along with the fudge, these peaches make such a wonderful present. I like giving food as a present. Well, that's ready. And so are these. So now it's just a question of putting them in the jars. Now the juices go in, and the thing is, the peaches and the syrup will continue to take on flavour as they get cool in these jars. And look how beautiful this is. I mean, who wouldn't want to be given this as a present? Well, I'll put the label on when they've cooled, but since I'm in packing and wrapping mode, I'm going to get my fudge now. Should be set. I'm going to cut this into 64 small pieces. In other words, 8 down and 8 across, and half again, and then the same this way round. There we are. I'm just going to slip it out of the foil case, and that's what I call a piece of fudge. Should be easy to cut now. And it is. And these can go straight into a bag. Lovely. That's enough. It's very rich. Tied with my gold ribbon. I'm hopeless at gift wrapping. I mean, I can make a book look like a bottle of wine, but actually this is quite easy. Put them in a bag, and you tie it with a ribbon. Tie a label on that beautiful jar of peaches. So that's my edible presents effortlessly organised, and I can stash them away in the fridge for a while. this is where all the express strategies come together. I've got a seasonal supper, 5 people coming round, and it just couldn't be any easier. The centrepiece is a ginger glazed ham, and the fabulous thing about it, apart from its taste, is that it requires only minutes of my time. And I've got my festive squash, so now all I need to do is make sure that the table looks as lovely as the food tastes. She'll artfully place some snowflakes for a bit of seasonal shimmer. And the wonderful thing about this spread is it's a meal you can just pull out of your hat anytime during Christmas. So right, I will get started with the squash. So here's the plan. Something tasty to pick out with drinks, and drinks themselves are pretty special. And not just a side dish, but co-star with the glazed ham, my butternut squash. And the thing about the squash is that it really is a party piece, and I think that's important at this time of year. And not least because this means you can make this and turn any meal of leftovers into a feast. Another thing in its favour is that it really does make vegetarians feel loved. Everyone's a winner. You need 2 kilos of butternut, that's probably about 2 squashes, and chop each squash into about 2.5 centimetre pieces. You will note that I'm not peeling the squash, and that alone makes this very easy. But not only does the skin soften in the heat of the oven, but actually it seems to help the squash almost caramelise as it bakes. To this tray of gorgeous goldenness, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil, just regular olive oil, not extra virgin, and half a teaspoon of dried thyme. I must say, I think thyme is one of those herbs that is as wonderful when it's dried as it is fresh. Slightly different, but still wonderful. The oven's preheated to 220, and this should take about half an hour, so I'll pop it in on my way to the drinks cabinet. When I was a child, I often used to go and stay with a friend of mine at this time of year, and she had a fabulously flamboyant great aunt who always used to drink a snowball, and I thought this was the most glamorous thing I had ever seen, and I longed to be like her. Now, of course, I grew up a bit and I realised that a snowball was a drink greatly to be disparaged, but now I've got over that, and the only thing I think is pour me one. And that's what I'm going to do, because I'm about to embark on my party popcorn. Not that it's very hard work, but I've got people arriving shortly, and I think it is better always to have a drink before people arrive, and that way you're just a bit more mellow, and I don't like to drink that much when they're there, so it's my way of just easing into the party spirit. So it's about 1 part Advocaat to 3 parts lemonade. And I've got a big splash of ice in now. My lips are puckering in readiness for this. In with the lemonade. And then, this is my own touch. It's not really authentic, but a spritz of lime, just to make this even more refreshing. Just going to give everything a bit of a mix to combine. Lovely. You know, when you think about it, global warming notwithstanding, a snowball is an entirely seasonal drink. Now, I've got everything ready so I can give drinks to people when they arrive. I'm going to do my popcorn. Happy holidays. So I'm imbued with the festive spirit and excitedly primed for my party popcorn. I need some oil, just 2 tablespoons. Any oil will do, but the olive oil was nearby after the squash. And into the oil, 200 grams of popcorn maize. Oh, I love this. So heat on, and then immediately clamp a lid on, and before that's I shall start melting my butter for the spiced coating. 4 tablespoons of butter, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, that lovely welcoming warmth. 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, that gives real depth, a bit of a grown-up taste. And 2 teaspoons as well of paprika. This is mild sweet paprika, gorgeously red. 4 teaspoons of salt, and this is the only time really I use free-flowing and not coarse salt, and 4 teaspoons of sugar. I love salt and sugar together. So heat under this. So this should melt and the popcorn should start popping any minute now. It started. It's very tempting to take the lid off and peek to see how everything's doing, but you do run the risk of getting shot. Let's give it a bit of a shake. You want to make sure all the bits of popcorn maze pop. Just going to be brave and dare a peek. See, look, it's not containable. Once the popping starts to recede slightly and slow down, then I'll take it off the heat. I think we're there. I present to you the popcorn, and oh, it's still moving. And now I'm going to turn it into the party popcorn by pouring over these orangey, spicy, buttery juices. Just going to stir to make sure everything is shinily combined. I think I'm ready to pot up now, and I've got quite a few of these dishes because everyone likes to plunge into the party popcorn. I love the look of these, so really I think of it as part food, part decoration. Anyway, the best decoration is edible. And I can dot these around the room, a few baubles nearby. Well, this should get everyone in the mood. This and the snowball, I mean, it's a pretty unbeatable combination. Look at this. I mean, luscious. There is no more festive sight than a glazed ham. Oh, I love everything about it. I could not have Christmas without a ham. And the thing about ham is that actually it's really easy to make. This 5.5 kilo joint of gammon took 4.5 hours to cook. But the point about it is, why it's expressed for me, is it took me hardly any time to do anything to it. All I did was put the joint of ham in a large pan. Doesn't matter how large, you've got to make sure the ham fits. So the only other ingredient you add to this pan is dry ginger ale. You do need a lot of ginger ale. You need 7 litres of it. But this is such an express way to add flavour. Bring the pan to the boil, lower the heat slightly. You want the pan to keep bubbling, but bubble steadily for 4.5 hours. Not exactly speedy, I concur. But the thing is, I need do nothing to the ham in this time. And believe me, at this time of year, I've got so much wrapping, so much organising, I could use the time. But towards the end of the ham's cooking time, I preheat the oven to 220 and I get on with my glaze. The glaze is as simple as it is delicious. Put 250 grams of chunky ginger preserves into a bowl and then stir in 2 tablespoons of hot English mustard. To the bowl add 100 grams of dark muscovado sugar and half a teaspoon of cloves and mix everything together. Now if you can't get the ginger preserves, do not get in a state about it. Simply use ordinary orange marmalade and add a teaspoon of dry ground ginger. And when the ham has had its 4.5 hours, gently and carefully lift of the hot pan and put it on a foil-lined baking tray or a foil tray. Carefully cut away the skin, leaving a thin layer of fat, and then just slap on the glaze. You don't need to score anything, you don't need to stud with cloves. The glaze goes on, and put the tray with the ham in the preheated oven for 20 minutes. And when that ham comes out, it will be burnished and bronze, and the small cubes of ginger from the preserve will be glistening. This is beautiful, and you can eat it hot or cold. I think I've got more than enough ham carved now for the 6 of us. Everything's done more or less, and I am calm, collected, and just infused with the holiday spirit. Can I actually miss Snowball?
Oh, yes, please.
Only right and proper.
Very good. It's divine.
It's like ice cream soda for grown-ups.
Anybody like to have some popcorn?
I'd love some popcorn. It's very spicy and delicious.
Cheers to you, and sit down because I want to ply you with food.
Oh, excellent.
That is so beautiful. I mean, look at it. Transfer this to a seasonal green platter. And the really useful thing about this squash is that you don't need to eat it piping hot. So you can just dish it up, and if people are late, it'll still be wonderful. As the glazed ham is already cold, as are the spiced peaches, this means you can be very relaxed about when people turn up, which is useful at this time of year. And now, in a way, I am going to besmirch the beautiful goldenness of the squash by crumbling over some blue cheese. But although obviously it'll look a bit less beautiful, it will taste divine. I just use a packet, 125 grams or so, of blue cheese. You could use any you want. This is Sant'Agnur, which I love because it's very soft and melts into the squash beautifully. Though I suppose you could use any sharp goat's cheese, up to you. And on top of the soft saltiness of the cheese, just tumble in 100 grams of dark smoky pecans. Perfection. Anyway, I better take this back out to the hungry hordes. Here we are. Let the festivities commence. Cheese and everything. It's terrible.
Do you really?
But it kind of is like instant flavour.
Those peaches are intense.
Oh, good. These did start off as peaches a long time ago.
Yes.
But then I had to rescue them from their cans. I'm going to take the fudge out for everyone before they go too. I'll leave mine in the fridge. Just eke it out over the next week or so. As if. Okay, I come rustling in with your peaches for you, my baby. And some chocolate pistachio fudge for everyone. Happy Christmas.
Oh, look how beautiful.
There you are.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Happy Christmas.
So kind.
So good.
Making you gone by the time we get home, I'm afraid.